I spent $4 just to watch errors and mistake this Hollywood movie made. Hi everyone, I'm Everything Windows, and this is what War of the Worlds 2025 film got wrong about Windows and anything else. War of the Worlds just came out last month, and almost universally everyone dismissed this movie. But I decided to watch this movie because I want to see how correct they are in using Windows to fight the war, as seen in the movie and the trailer. I subscribed to Amazon Prime Video just to watch this movie with all its glory, and yeah, after that I'm watching it like 8 times in 2 days, so I hope this video doesn't disappoint. To fact check about the depictions in this movie, I contacted Monty Spartan and SectorWire for user interfaces, NordVPN from Vert, and WinExperiment from Rectify 11 for Windows application development thing. So I hope all information I give in this video is accurate enough. I must emphasize that this video falls under fair use, as I commentate any goops and errors possible in this video by taking a single frame from the movie for each possible error. And I only use around 3 to 10 seconds snippet from the movie if there's any visual animation error. Well, also with the commentary. And yeah, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the movie. Okay, let's start. Let's start with this frame. You already know that the movie uses Windows 11 as a main operating system as seen in the trailer. And anyone with the correct sense knows that this is not what the logon UI looks like in Windows 11. It's too simple and bare bone. Plus, the password character used in it isn't a star, but a dot. Moving a few seconds further, this frame changes my initial assumption that the Windows version used in this movie is actually supposed to be Windows 10, not Windows 11. But there are still mistakes. The lock screen is really wrong in some ways. First up, assuming that Will, Ice Cube's character, is using Windows Hello to go to the desktop. But that's not how Windows Hello works. It doesn't plaster the face to the center of the screen, it's only a subtle eye icon at the top as seen in this photo. The user group doesn't display itself in the logon screen. Windows doesn't bother to add it up to the lock screen. It's just a simple Windows Hello icon at the top, time and date at the bottom left, and indicators at the bottom right. Oh yeah, also a few news left or right. And even then, the movie didn't even bother to add the date to the lock screen. Well, assuming that putting the date may come with several conflicts with continuity later in the movie. Next, we see Will's desktop. And yes, this is supposed to mimic a Windows 10 desktop. And I already have several things I want to say, starting with the icons on the desktop. Although the recycle bin has been renamed to bin, which I don't have any issue with that. The terminal icon is using command prompt's icon, and it apparently misses the shortcut icon indicator. Well, unless there's another application that utilizes the same console host as command prompt, I think this is not possible. Moving to the taskbar, the Windows logo is too big. This is as big as seen in Windows 8.1 and early builds of Windows 10. The search bar is boxed inside of the taskbar, which is supposed to be seen in early development build of Windows 10. Cortana and task view icon indicates that Will is using at least Windows 10 May 2020 update, aka version 2004. There are already several applications open at startup. And one impossible icon to exist in a taskbar is the folder icon. Well, unless there's an application that has Windows 10 folder icon as its icon, it is not possible. The spacing between the tray icons is too wide, and the show desktop button is missing. Now, selecting any icons on the desktop doesn't look like that in Windows. Well, at least in Windows Vista and newer, as it highlights a whole rectangle around the icon and the text, rather than highlighting each one. This is possible, however, if you're using Windows XP, which we already know in the film, they're not. Will then opens the Guardian app, which is basically a government-made mass surveillance application for citizens. The opening animation is not what we know from Windows 10. It is too flat with no rush in and smooth out, comparing to this clip of a real Windows 10. You can see that the animation in the movie feels off. And also, what is that maximize icon doing in Windows 10? That is from Windows 11. Windows 10 maximize icon is supposed to look like this. Oh, also, isn't another Windows 11 maximize icon yet again? Fast forward to when NASA employee calls Will using Microsoft Teams. Well, you would think that the sound is from Skype, right? As seen in the Goops part in IMDb. Well, you would be wrong. Take a listen to this footage. Yes, that indeed is a real sound from Microsoft Teams, comparing it to the real Skype incoming call sound. The Teams ringtone is basically just a less remixed version of Skype, so I can see why people are going to misidentify it. Will then pauses Spotify when he received the call, and the Spotify UI is a disaster for me, because it's basically a mix of several versions from different era. The home, search and library is from at least a 2020 version. This applies also to the back and forth icon as well as the profile. But the player UI below isn't really from 2020, I assume. It's further to at least a 2021 version. For comparison, this is a Spotify desktop UI from 2025. Oh, is that a maximize icon again? Well, okay, can we agree that at this point, we're gonna ignore the maximize icon being an error? Because you'll see that there will be more of the maximize icon mistake later in the movie. Alright, a little information on this frame. Yes, it is what a real Microsoft Teams window would look like. And no, it is not from the recent version from 2025 or 2024. This Microsoft Teams app version is assumed to be at least before March 2023, as Microsoft rolled out the new design for Microsoft Teams in that month. This can be indicated with the purple title bar. At 3 minutes and 9 seconds mark, you can see in this frame that Will received a notification from Director Briggs from DHS. Well, the font used in the notification is incorrect. By using Notifications Visualizer, an official application by Microsoft to emulate notifications, here is what the notification should look like. Different font, but otherwise, with modern Teams, it's supposed to look like this. According to SectorWire, the font used in the notification title should be Segur UI semi-bold, rather than a bold Segur UI. Still speaking about notification, 8 seconds forward, you can see that there is another notification error. Well, you basically can't make a text in the notification appears red. Well, at least according to this article, which is the closest answer I can get. Also, you can't make a clickable link in the notification. The closest you can get in Windows 10 is by showing a button, or viewing the website when you click the notification. When Will clicks it, it links to a YouTube video. And from this point on, I might want to make a comment about things outside of Windows, because I'm too itchy and so willing to explain it. The search icon is a little too big, and the seeker bar doesn't touch the side border. Monty spotted that the YouTube logo is darker than it should be. I checked on Wikipedia, and it is indeed darker than the actual logo. Oh, better yet, it's less, in quote, pink than the current logo. To investigate the hacker, Will decided to track the source by using view page source? I'm not commenting about that method, but I am going to comment when he uses it. For some magical reason, the page source open in a tab is indicated as a PDF document file in the downloads folder, which I think is an error made by the editor or something. Oh my gosh, another notification error again! Next, Will is using WhatsApp to communicate with his daughter, which I don't think it's that common in the United States to use WhatsApp, but whatever. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, this looks like a very outdated web app version of WhatsApp, which has been deprecated by Meta back in 2022 if I recall correctly. Even if they're trying to depict the web version, it comes with many visual errors as well as a major error later in the movie. Well, first of all, the user interface is too simple, with no timestamp and read received in each message bubble. And the padding for archived messages is off comparing to the contacts. Just for reference, this is what the native WhatsApp would look like in Windows 10. And this is the WhatsApp web version installed as a web application. Looks very different, right? The WhatsApp user interface comes with another error at 5 minutes and 3 seconds mark in this frame. The call interface is clearly based off the native version, like, which version are you trying to pick? The web version or the native version? I don't understand. If you're trying to depict the web version, you can't do a call in there as it will tell you to use the native Windows version. Although I do remember at one point you can call using the web version for some reason at some point in late 2021. I don't have a screenshot for that. If you're trying to depict the native version, you have to get the rest of the WhatsApp UI right. How do I know it's different? Well, look at this footage I have when I make a call. Notice how similar it is to the native version? All of these goofs are just within 5 minutes of the movie, and we already like over 10 minutes into the video. Gosh. This next one is really hilarious if you are at least a Windows Power user, or if you are very delicate at noticing detail in general. Does this sentence feel familiar to you? Yes, it is from the run dialogue. I don't know what's the use of this TeamViewer password dialogue, like, how? And why? This is really what the password prompt is supposed to look like in a TeamViewer. And also, what's with the Windows 11 rounded window border? For context, TeamViewer is used to, in quote, stalk his child while he's, in quote, working. Back to WhatsApp again. The incoming call UI seen in this frame is really different from what we usually have. It's not big prompting window, it's just a simple window with the option to accept or deny. The option to mute and choose the input or output for the call was added in a recent update. Will then answered the call, and there it is again! The Windows 11 window border along with the new WhatsApp and the WhatsApp call UI yet again! Moving 3 minutes further, there is a scanner application that is apparently a terminal. A scanner terminal to be exact. It is from the Guardian app. Well, from the looks of it, it indicates that it's not a Windows instance. This is seen by the string in the terminal. Guard command line @willradford_pc. This is not what you see normally in Windows Terminal. Unless there is a Linux or Unix supercomputer segmented to each DHS employee remotely connected to each Windows PC, this is not possible. You know what's even worse? This! This Windows 11 task switcher, aka old tab interface. I can't even tell how it got there. Windows 10 task switcher is not frosted Mica type of design. Instead, it's just a bland opaque black square. And no, that's not how the close button looks when it's highlighted. Wait, what? Since when was Microsoft abbreviated to MS when it's in notification? I don't think I've ever seen that in case for Microsoft Teams. Anyway, let's settle the notification thing in this snippet. I am going to assume that Guardian is using a custom-made notification module or library or system or however you want to call it. WinExperiment says that it is possible to create custom notification by utilizing Microsoft's direct UI, but normal developers don't really dig deep into that anyway. Nope, not the window border again. Circling to the YouTube watch page again, why is the YouTube logo glowing? Oh no, they're using Sego UI for YouTube. That's not the correct font. It's way wrong. It's Roboto. Come on. Alright, for the next few minutes in this movie, basically the world is getting hit by meteors, and his son is apparently in danger. Of course he is, the world's getting hit. And when his son disconnects from the call, I don't know what the function of the static video output doing other than just serving a dramatic scene in the movie, because you really can't do that in video call nowadays as it's all digital. You either get the video feed or you don't. While I was watching the movie, I noticed at the 19 minutes and 47 seconds mark, you can see that for a split frame, the Chrome window at the bottom left corner of the screen suddenly disappears. Again, I assume that this is an editing error. Well, maybe. Jumping 20 seconds, the government is on a Zoom call. When someone on field is flipping the camera to the back, it isn't supposed to have a flipping animation. Yeah. Do you want proof? Well, this is me in a Zoom with myself, and I'm trying to flip the camera here, and there is no animation. Still at Zoom? No, the text for the name is too big. This is how it should look like. Also, there's no sound effect when someone leaves Zoom, unlike in the movie. Sandra! Will then opens Teams to make sure the on-field person is okay. But you see that there are two visual errors. One is from the highlighted people thing. Second is from the border, which cuts off. Skipping the arrow on the minimizing button. And apparently, someone forgot to remove her from the participant list when she left the call. At 2525, you can see that the Guardian application has a different title text font than a normal Windows 10 app. So from now on, I also assume that Guardian has a custom window drawing library or something. Skipping another Windows 11 window border again. And this is the one that I'm going to talk about. There is no public Tesla remote access application for Windows, but I'm going to assume that Tesla is obliged by the DHS to develop a remote access application to engage in safety of the people in emergency by taking over a Tesla vehicle. Truly bizarre scenario. Later into the movie, the Tesla's battery is about to run out, and Will is trying to sabotage a Tesla vehicle. And I want you to look at several goofs in the sabotaging sequence. Initializing USB mass storage driver? That's okay, I guess. Copyright 2884-2085 Intel Corporation? Wait, Tesla uses Intel chips? And it turns out they are using an Intel chip for older models before switching to AMD. Boot option? Kernel panic? Oh no, you can't get into the console if you have a kernel panic, aren't you?
Nope.
Well, you can get in, even with the kernel panic. Skipping the Zoom UI imbalance, and let's stop at this snippet.
I'll be right here, sweetheart.
First of all, the minimizing UI is clunky and not accurate. Second, whenever you minimize a WhatsApp call, you'll still get a mini window view to ensure that you're still in a call. I demonstrated with my WhatsApp call, and there you go, you'll still be able to see your call right in the mini window view. But, I can say that minimizing the call in the movie might create another error that you'll see later. Exactly this one.
Alright, just hear me out on this.
You will pick up a call from your son. You can't do that. You already have a call with your daughter. You have to close the call with your daughter before you pick up the call from your son. Or maybe he closes a call with his daughter before picking up the call off screen. Next up, in this frame, you can see the full view of Will's desktop again. And I don't know why, but there is no application open as seen in a taskbar. There is no a little line as the indicator for that. There are supposed to be at least two, one for Guardian and one for Microsoft Teams. For this one, you're gonna need a context. Basically, data around the world is disappearing thanks to several giant cyber monsters eating up data in all servers. And what you're about to see is how the data disappears according to the movie. Take a look.
No.
I can safely say that it is not how corrupted data works. It's not looking like that live, because once a page is already loaded, you won't really see any changes until you refresh, apart from several live pages on certain websites. Going a bit further, a corrupted audio doesn't sound like that.
Remember to take out the trash today.
And be nice to the kids.
Either it's audible or a static or glitch noise. And one cherry at the top. It's this. Yes, a 404 page. I bet majority of you knows how a 404 or no internet in Chrome looks like. It's either this or this. And what's with that Windows 7 sound? "30 seconds forward, this frame shows how the link in the Guardian app is incorrect. Hugely incorrect for a YouTube livestream link. The U/0 isn't necessary. Then what is the proper YouTube livestream link supposed to look like? Well, it's this." At this point, Will just figures out that the hacker at the start of the movie is actually his own son that wants to rebel the government.
It's you! It's you!
Yeah.
Now, when you close a call in WhatsApp, at least for a video call, it doesn't look like this, at least for the recent version. It doesn't show your camera after the call has ended. It just blanks out the window for a while before it disappears. But that's tolerable. What's not tolerable is how the attachment in chat looks like. It's this in the movie. It's over dramatic to display like that. Like, really? This is how it's supposed to look like. Not a big icon with the name below. It's just a simple format icon along with the name and an option to download. Well, that's for the web version. This is for the native version. But those two are still forgivable to the very least. Now, look at the next frame I'm gonna show you. If you didn't know what's wrong, it's a Windows 11 Explorer in Windows 10. That's a very crucial app. How can you get that one wrong? That file explorer is from Windows 11 2022 update or earlier. It's not from Windows 10, for God's sake. And the next snippet shows that Will opens one of the folders that opens a document? Files in Windows doesn't work like that. Folders are supposed to open folders and not opening a whole damn document. Is that Audacity? Audacity. For the context of the movie, basically Will found out that director Briggs from DHS is the perpetrator for the whole situation in order to get into the biggest surveillance program named Goliath, and Will found out about it and confronts him. He ended up cutting him off from the DHS and disables the whole access from him. And now that you know the context, this is how disconnecting looks like. Yeah, a split frame change from the YouTube video page to a BBC website. After that, the son overrides the DHS access for his dad and reboots the computer. And here's where a cheeky error comes in. AMD Athlon XP 3200 Plus? Well, it's supposed to say AMD Athlon, assuming that they won't avoid the proper naming because of the copyright thing. But here's the thing though. AMD Athlon 3200 Plus is actually a 32-bit processor from 2003. And the computer apparently has 64GB of RAM, which is too big for a normal computer, but I think that's kind of tolerable for a government computer. But that is not possible for a 32-bit processor, as it only supports 4GB max and 8.8 GHz memory clock. Really? That big? 1 second further and no, Windows boot sequence doesn't work like that. What are they up to? What sound is that? Hey, what sound again? Fast forward, Will then makes a video to rebel from director Briggs by using the hacker's YouTube account. Okay, that drag and drop is not from Windows, that's from Mac, as far as I remember. After that, he joins a Zoom call with his son's hacking group to make a plan for destroying the data-eating monster from inside. He receives a zip file, but when he clicks it, it's an exe file. Well, unless Will extracts the archive off screen and deletes the zip file after that, it's honestly confusing. Speaking of Zoom, if you have a problem with your Zoom call, especially on your device, the other participants will just either see no video feed or just disappear from the call and not have the big signal lost image in the video like what we see in the movie. Skipping the non-existent WhatsApp call connection failed interface, we are reaching around the climax of the movie. His son wants to inject the cannibal code to the mass surveillance server room in a DHS building. He sends an exe file. Well, as far as I know, server rooms usually use either Linux or Unix, rarely seen with Windows. But if it is Windows, I hope his son injects autorun into the executable file, because that'll come in crucial later in the movie. Okay, at 1 hour, 12 minutes and 18 seconds mark, Will waits for the flash drive, delivered by
Primaire.
I'm here.
by going to the server room first. Now here's the thing, they receive a call from Will himself, and that's the problem. Unless Will disconnects his WhatsApp account from the phone, or he has a different WhatsApp account on a computer, this is not possible. You can't call yourself. Oh yeah, from this frame he is visible recording himself. Fast forward, he gets the flash drive, and he's trying to plug in the flash drive to the server. Now this is a problem of the exe files come from. Well, is the server running Linux? Or Unix? Or Windows? We don't know for sure, but again, I severely hope that his son injects autorun into the exe file, letting the program automatically run when plugged into the server, which I kind of doubt at this point. Nonetheless, they succeed, and Will quits DHS to spy on the government, turning from the back. He then opens WhatsApp and receives several photos. And no, That's not what WhatsApp gallery view looks like. Finally, this is how it looks like. The end. This movie really depicts Windows and its application and websites and anything I found quite tolerable for normal viewer, but for those who knows about Windows, about UI or UX, about technology, the movie really got so many things wrong, well, apart from many things that they got right. This is just me covering Windows and, well, slightly about other technology aspect of the movie. I don't even talk about the hacking part, because from taking a glance at it, they mostly got things wrong. If you see anything that I missed or anything I got wrong, tell us in the comments. In the meantime, just stick to Linux for hacking and stuff, please.